Hello everyone, and welcome to this training session on independent material transfer in the Onfinity system. In today's session, we will explore how inventory movements can be created without confirmation within Onfinity. Let's begin with our agenda. We will be focusing on independent transfers, which are also referred to as material transfers without confirmation in the system. Now moving on to the objective of this session. The objective of the session is to enable you to understand the independent material transfer and its associated terms in the context of business processes. Additionally, it also enables you to test the independent metal transfer process in the context of business requirements. Before we begin, let's review the prerequisites that must be in place before starting the step-by-step process in the system. First, you must have access to the Onfinity platform with a valid user ID and password. Second, the tenant and organization configuration must be completed and available. Let's begin by understanding what a material transfer is. A material transfer, also known as an inventory transfer, refers to physically relocating inventory from one location to another. In simple terms, it is the systematic movement of materials to ensure they are available at the right place, at the right time. Most businesses execute material transfers to improve on-hand inventory levels at locations that have high demand, so orders are optimized to reach customers faster and more affordably. When inventory is distributed in different warehouses in an organization, it is usually called transfer among warehouses, to move it from one warehouse to another as needed, while it is called transfer among organizations, to move it from one organization to another. Collectively, they are called inventory movement. In the Onfinity system, the material transfer screen is used to record inventory movement records. A material transfer in the Onfinity system can be created in the following two ways. First, as an independent material transfer. Second, with reference to a requisition, by using the create lines from option. In this session, we will focus on the independent material transfer. The requisition-based transfer will be covered separately in another session. Once the concept is clear, the next step is to identify the process flow configuration task that must be set up before creating an independent material transfer. To record an independent material transfer, here are some more prerequisites that must be available in the system. These include the document type, warehouse and locator, product and unit of measure. Now let us begin with the use case of independent material transfer. This will help you better understand the process through a real-life example of how an independent material transfer works. In this scenario, Sonic Ventures, a leading organization, operates a central warehouse, Sonic Ventures Warehouse, in Delhi, and a regional distribution center, Sonic Ventures Mohali Warehouse, in Mohali. Due to an urgent need for specific smartphones for new trainees in Mohali, Sonic Ventures needs to transfer 5 units of smartphones to the Mohali office. The warehouse manager at Sonic Ventures identifies the need for the transfer based on the inventory analysis and creates a material transfer. This use case essentially represents the initiation of the process, demonstrating how an independent material transfer begins in practice, often due to an urgent need. Before moving on to the step-by-step execution of this use case, let's take a look at the independent material transfer process flowchart. This flowchart will help you better understand how the process starts and concludes. As you can see, the process starts with the creation of a material transfer transaction and ends at the same screen once the transaction is completed. This provides a simple overview of the process flow. Next, let's move on to the execution of the independent material transfer process use case. Since this is an urgent transfer, the material transfer is generated immediately, and the inventory in the warehouse is updated to reflect the movement. The material transfer details the movement date from warehouse, which is the source, to warehouse, which is the requester, detail for receiving location, and the detail of received product with quantity. This brings us to the conclusion of the conceptual understanding on independent material transfer. We have reviewed the process flow, the required prerequisites, and a practical use case. Now that the fundamentals are clear, Let us proceed to the system demonstration, where we will go through the step-by-step process of creating an independent material transfer. To begin, open the Onfinity link in your browser. On the Onfinity login page, enter your valid user ID, enter your password, and then click on Login to access the Onfinity system. After logging in, you will land on the Onfinity homepage. Here, you can see various mosaics that display real-time data based on the transactions recorded in the system. These mosaics provide insights for analyzing the current business position. The availability of mosaics depends on the user's access rights and the modules installed in the system. Since this is a demonstration setup, the system currently contains only a limited number of records and transactions. As a result, you may not see much data reflected in the mosaics at this stage. So don't bother about the mosaics currently. Once actual business transactions are recorded, the relevant mosaics will automatically display the corresponding information. For now, let's focus on creating an independent material transfer. To begin, open the material transfer screen. To open the material transfer screen, you can either search for material transfer directly using the menu search utility or navigate through the menu path. From the menu, go to Material Management, then select Storage Operations, where you will find Material Transfer. Click on it to open the material transfer screen. Once the screen opens, you will land on the Material Transfer landing page, where the default mosaics for the material transfer screen are displayed. Here we have the advanced search from warehouse to warehouse and document status mosaics, which are mainly used to filter out documents. The material issue form mosaic allows you to open the material issue form directly, where you can enter details to create a material transfer or an inventory use transaction. The material issue process will be covered in a separate session where we will explore the form in detail. You will also see the pending transfers and expected transfers mosaics. These mosaics contain the records of open requisitions, which can then be used to create a material transfer with reference to a requisition directly from these mosaics. To create a material transfer with reference to a requisition, you would simply click on the requisition document number. After clicking, the product lines will be displayed. You can then select the required lines, and once the selection is made, the Generate Material Transfer button will be enabled. Clicking this button would create the material transfer record. However, we are not covering that process in this session. This will be demonstrated separately when we understand material transfer with reference to requisition. For now, our focus will remain on creating an independent material transfer. One important point to note: in the Pending Transfers mosaic, you will see requisitions where the date required has already passed. In the Expected Transfers mosaic, you will see requisitions where the material transfer is required either on the current day or on a future date, as specified in the requisition. At the bottom of the landing page, you will find charts that display product movement and stock details. The Top 10 Movement Products chart shows the products most frequently used in material transfers, while the Top 10 Highest Stock Products chart highlights the items with the highest stock levels within warehouses. Now, to create a new transaction, simply click on the New Record mosaic. This will allow you to add a new record and open it in the Single Record view to enter the details. On the Material Transfer screen, the first section you will see is the Header panel. This panel contains important fields such as Organization, to Warehouse, Document Number, Movement Date, and Document Status. The Header panel also includes two key action buttons. The Complete Document button, which is used to process and complete the record. The Not Posted button, which is used to post the ledger account for the transaction. The Header panel provides a quick overview of the transaction and remains visible while you work on the Lines tab, ensuring that all key details are always accessible. Here, you first need to select the organization, which defines under which organization the record will be created. Then, if applicable, select the Incoterm in the Incoterm field. This is used when dealing with transactions across two different countries, or when there are specific terms that apply to a particular transaction. In such cases, the relevant Incoterm must be defined here. Moving ahead, you will see the document type field. Here, you need to select the appropriate document type for the transaction. There are two available options: material movement, which is without confirmation, and material movement with confirmation. In this session, we will be using the material movement document type, which is without confirmation. We have already covered the functionality and configuration for material transfer with confirmation in a separate session. You may refer to the material transfer with confirmation training session recording if you would like to review the process for material transfer with confirmation. For now, let's proceed by selecting material movement as the document type. Next, in the From Warehouse field, select the warehouse from which the items will be transferred. In our use case, the From Warehouse is Sonic Ventures Warehouse. In the To Warehouse field, select the destination warehouse. Here, we are transferring the items to Sonic Ventures Mohali Warehouse. As we already understood, material transfer can also be done when multiple organizations are available in the tenant. In such cases, you can perform the transfer between different organization warehouses as well. So, in the To Warehouse field, you would also be able to see the warehouses of Sonic Solutions. But for now, we will not cover that scenario. We are doing the transfer within the same organization, but between two different warehouses. Once these details are entered, just save the record. You can also add some additional notes for this document in the description field. This field is purely informational and does not affect the functionality. For now, we will not add any notes here. Next, you can directly enter the line details from the composite view by clicking on the New Record option. However, in this session, we will not use that method. Instead, we will move to the Lines tab to add the details. Before we go to the Lines tab, let us review the other available buttons. Here, we have the Create Line from Requisition button. This button allows you to create the material transfer lines directly against a requisition. To do this, you simply click on Create Lines from Requisition. This will open the Create Lines from page, where you can select the required requisition. Since we will cover this process in our next session, let us close the Create Lines from page for now. Next, we have the Create Lines from Cart button. We have already seen this functionality earlier. If you would like to review how the cart works, you can refer to the training session on the inventory count form, where we explained how a cart can be created and used across multiple transactions. By clicking on the Create Lines from Cart button, the system will open the Create Lines from Cart page, displaying all available carts. However, for this session, we are not going to use the cart. Instead, we will add the lines manually. So, let's go ahead and close the Create Lines from Cart page. And finally, we have the eWay Bill Details tab button. This is used to navigate to the eWay Bill Details tab, which is specifically designed for eWay Bill integration. At this point, we will not go into detail on this feature, as it is not a standard part of the material transfer process. It will be covered separately in the dedicated session on e-billing and e-invoicing. For now, let us move to the Lines tab by clicking on the Lines tab button. Once there, simply click on New Record to add a new line. Now, you need to select the From locator, which is the locator from where the product will be moved, and then the To locator, which is the locator where the product will be transferred. Next, select the product. For this example, let's choose Redmi Note 10. If an attribute set instance is available, you need to select that as well. Simply click on the Attribute Set Instance field to open the Attribute Set Instance page. From here, you can either add a new combination value as required, or select an existing one by clicking on Select Existing Record. Once selected, confirm by clicking OK, and then click OK again to add it. After Attribute Set Instance, enter the quantity in the Quantity Entered field. For now, let's enter 5. You can also change the unit of measure, UOM, if another UOM is available. For this product, a conversion has already been defined on the product screen. In this case, the product is also available in packs, with a conversion defined between each and packs. Let's verify this as well, so you have a clear understanding of how product-specific conversions can be defined. Let's zoom into the selected product from the product field options so we can navigate to the product screen. Click on the product name hyperlink to open the record in the single record view. Here, you will find the UOM Conversion tab button. Click on it to move to the UOM Conversion tab. This tab allows you to define specific conversions for the product. In this example, we can see that a conversion between each and packs has already been defined. For more details on product creation and configuration, you may refer to the dedicated product-specific training session. Let us now move back to the material transfer screen. Here, the movement quantity is calculated based on the unit of measure, UOM, and the entered quantity. Let's see how this works. If we change the UOM to pack, we can see that a conversion of 12 has been defined. This means that one pack equals 12 each. Since we have entered a quantity of 5, the system automatically calculates the movement quantity as 60 in the base unit, which is what is actually stored in the warehouse. However, for our example, we only need to move 5 quantities. Therefore, we will keep the UOM as each, which is the base unit for this product. Here we also have the asset field, which is used in case the transfer involves a fixed asset. Additionally, the description field can be used to record any notes for the specific product line. Next, we have the vendor field, which is meant to define the business partner, for example, the person requesting the transfer. This field is purely informational and does not have any functional impact on the transaction. Once all the required details are entered, simply save the line. After that, navigate back to the Header tab. To complete the material transfer record, click on the Complete Document Action button in the Header panel and confirm by selecting OK. This will process the transfer and automatically update the stock quantities in the respective warehouses. And as you can see, once the record is completed, the Generate E-Way Bill button becomes enabled. The Generate E-Way Bill button is used in scenarios where the E-Way Bill process is applicable. However, since we have not entered any E-Way Bill details in the E-Way Bill Details tab, this feature will not be relevant in our current case. With this, we have now completed the process of an independent material transfer, that is, creating a material transfer without confirmation. Now let's move back to the presentation. Our next topic is the material transfer mosaic, which we have already covered during the walkthrough. From the Create View mosaic, we can view all existing records or add a new record directly. The Advanced Search option allows us to search and filter records. Similarly, the From Warehouse and to Warehouse mosaics are also used for filtering the records. We also have the Statistics mosaics, which include the Material Issue Form to open the Material Issue Form, Pending Transfers and Expected Transfers, which allow us to create material transfers based on open requisitions. Lastly, we have analytical charts, such as the top 10 product movements and top 10 highest stock products, which help us analyze the records effectively. That concludes today's session. Thank you for attending. We hope you now have a clear understanding of how to manage item transfers in Onfinity without confirmation, as well as how to create an independent material transfer without any reference. If you have any questions or need further assistance, please feel free to reach out.